What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode. In this episode, what I'm going to be talking about is specifically about lifting gear and accessories for beginners in the gym. Okay, so if you are somebody who is just starting in the gym for maybe general health, building muscle, etc., in like maybe like a commercial gym, maybe in a well-equipped at-home gym and or a functional gym, this is going to be a really great video for you, especially if you're wanting to get started and or you've already gotten started, but you want to be more confident in the choices that you're making. Maybe see if there's some more equipment that you should be investing in to help you keep progressing in the gym. Okay, so for those of you that are pros at the gym and or somebody that does like a specific modality like training weightlifting, powerlifting, CrossFit, this video may or may not apply to you. There might be some takeaways that you can apply, but those specific modalities may require different equipment or even potentially more equipment than what I mentioned in the video. Okay, so I'm going to go through the gear and accessories that I think most people should really consider getting. Some are going to be must-haves. Some of them are going to be just dependent on where you're at in your journey. And then some of them are, I find helpful, but you don't really necessarily have to. I'll also list all the brands that I recommend and or I have personally used below in the show notes. You don't have to use them though. I think especially as you progress in your journey, a really fun part of it is learning what you like, your own preferences, and so much more. So you'll start learning what brands you really like, what types of things that you like as well. So maybe you'll like what I suggest, maybe not. And that's 100% okay. The beauty happens when you stop focusing on what other people do and you really just focus on what works best for you. So go ahead and feel free to build off of what I provide. So, from there, what I want to go into is one, if you're listening to this video, you're going more into the world of strength training, of building muscle and all these different things, which I freaking love. I absolutely love hearing from people where they're like, hey, I want to get what's and so much more. I freaking love it. And the reasoning because of that is because there's so much benefit to building strength, to getting into the gym and so on and so forth. Like it's so much more than what most people think. Like for the physical benefits alone, like obviously the obvious one is like building more strength. And also, you're going to build more muscle. But by building more muscle, you're also going to be improving your metabolism because the more muscle that you have on your body, the higher metabolism you're going to have. You're also going to increase bone health, which is a big focus for a lot of people, especially if you're concerned for longevity. Preventing osteoporosis and so much more is very helpful with that. It also helps with joint health, increases your energy levels, it enhances your physical performance if that's a goal of yours. And like, let's talk about other benefits just beyond the physical side of things. For a lot of people that come to us, they're also looking to learn how to optimize their health, take more of a preventative approach, and also they're interested in optimizing their hormonal health. Well, strength training is one of the most effective and natural ways to help balance out hormones. It can help increase your testosterone levels. It balances out insulin sensitivity. It regulates cortisol levels, aka making you harder to kill. And it improves mood regulation as well, which a lot of people don't know this, but your hormones have a huge hand in your mood. So it's fantastic for that. But it also helps with the mental side of things as well. It improves confidence. I don't think I've ever met somebody who started strength training who's like, oh man, it made me less confident in myself. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of that. It helps, again, be more resilient to stress as well. It increases your sleep and enhances your mental focus. It creates a sense of achievement outside of just how you look. You start taking pride in what you can do with your body, which is a fantastic thing. And then a lot of people start seeing an improved body image as well, just because, again, you stop focusing so much on the aesthetic side of things and you start finding value outside of that. And that really gets into more of intrinsic motivation rather than extrinsic motivation, which if you only focus on extrinsic, how you look and how that is like how it affects people around you and how they view yourself, you can put yourself potentially in a position of having poor body image issues. So this is a really great way to help break ties with that, is just celebrating what you can do with your body rather than what it looks like. Okay. So next, I'm going to go into a list of things that you could potentially get if you are getting in the gym. which, by the way, again, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. So let's get into it. Okay. So, first thing that I have on here is going to be a gym bag. Very simple and very obvious, but you need a gym bag to put all of your stuff in it. Okay. So, with the gym bag, it honestly really is about personal preference. It's totally up to you. Into the gym and out, you're gonna be good. I personally, right now, use a duffel bag, but I've used backpacks in the past. I've used totes in the past. It's just to each their own. Okay, so mix it up. Try different ones. Try different styles. Try different colors. Have some fun with it. I think it's also a really great way to just have a little fun with your lifting gear. It's just bringing out your personality through that. The next is going to be headphones. Okay. Again, this is going to be more towards personal preferences. You can do something as simple as one that just goes in your ear that is Bluetooth. Like for me personally, I use AirPod Pros. I've also used Beat Pros as well. So those are the ones that have the little hook around your ears too. I suggest something like that where it's cordless or hooks around your ears for somebody who is doing more dynamic movements, like a lot of plyometrics. Maybe you're doing power cleans or jerks or a lot of sprinting or jolting or things like that. Because when I was a weightlifter, so snatch and clean and jerk, they're very dynamic movements. I used to try to wear AirPod Pros in my ears and it'd always fall out because it got a little sweaty and then I have to chase it down. Versus the Beats Pros, I use those because it just wrapped around my ears and it stayed there. So that's something to consider too. Now I'm not doing so much more dynamic stuff. And a lot of times I don't wear headphones in the gym because the gym that I work at plays music over top and it's more of a smaller functional boutique type of style gym. So I don't necessarily always have to wear headphones if I don't want to. So whenever I'm doing plyometrics, I just take them out. So AirPod Pros works for me. The other option that you can think of is looking at the video, but like headphones that cover your ears, like over top of your head. And multiple reasons why. One, people probably just prefer those types of headphones. Some people don't like things in the ear, like they like things that go over top of their ear. Two, it also gives a big old F off vibe. If you're somebody that likes to go to the gym just for me time, you don't necessarily want to be bothered. Big old headphones is a really great way to do that. So I again, Beats is a very popular one. I know that Apple just came out with a brand new one as well that I see is really popular. But honestly, just pick a good brand that you know is going to last a long time, is sweat proof, and is going to fit your head well. And I think you're good to go. The next thing I'm going to say is, again, another obvious is going to be a water bottle. Make sure that you're packing a water bottle with you. Staying hydrated while you work out is so important. It helps you keep your energy levels up. It helps you perform well in the gym. It helps you keep you like mentally sharp so you can get the most out of your workouts, and it's going to help recover as well. So making sure that you have a good water bottle is great. So any kind of water bottle is a fantastic choice. But my personal preference is going to go with something that is stainless steel, because when it's stainless steel, it's more than likely going to last longer because it's more durable. But also, it's going to keep my water cold, especially on hot days. So that's why I use stainless steel. I typically go for the ones with straws that are bendable. I don't like Stanley cups with the handle with the straw. I know is very popular right now, but I personally don't like it because it leaks everywhere. I can't just throw it into my bag and expect it for the water to stay in there. Also, let's say that I am in the gym and I actually knock it down. It's going to spill everywhere. I personally prefer water bottles with it bends over and then comes back up, which again, I'll put the link below for that as well. But honestly, any kind of water bottle works just fine. This is a really great segue to the next thing. I honestly believe that a lot of people should keep extra electrolytes in their bag because, again, going back to, I want you to stay hydrated. It's going to really help you have a ton of energy and recover really well from the gym as well. But just because you're drinking water doesn't necessarily mean that you are hydrated. In order for our body to maintain a balance of water within our body, we need key minerals, aka electrolytes. And so taking electrolytes around your workouts can help you stay hydrated as you start sweating things out. So adding something like I personally prefer LMNT. So it's LMNT. These are 0-calorie electrolyte packets that actually taste really great. Most of the electrolyte packets out there, I'm not a huge fan of. It doesn't taste really great. LMNT does taste phenomenal. I usually drink those during my workouts. I start sipping on it before. during and by the end of the workout, I finish my water bottle. So it's through that whole process, I stay hydrated and I'm replenishing as I'm sweating. So keeping a couple extra packets of electrolytes in your backpack is essential for those times. Maybe you're getting in a last minute workout in, or maybe you forgot keeping it in there. The next is going to be shoes. Okay. And I'm going to be very specific on the types of shoes that I recommend all of my lifters get. Because one of the big mistakes that people make is when they go to the gym, they wear running shoes. And first and foremost, if you're somebody that's just starting in the gym, congratulations. Like, you're moving the needle forward. What kind of shoes is really not that big of a deal. You're working out. You're doing fucking great. But if you're looking to move the needle forward even more, looking at the specific shoes that you're wearing can help out a ton. The reason why running shoes doesn't necessarily work is because running shoes is very cushioned and it's very rounded because it's supposed to go with the running. I highly suggest wearing running shoes when you're running, specifically long distance. It's fantastic. But when you're lifting, what you want instead is more of a flat shoe. So that way you're not feeling like you're always trying to keep balance, walking on a cloud, and so much more. It can really negatively affect your technique, your form, your mobility, and your ability to know where you're at in space and move well. Versus having some type of flat shoe, it helps out a lot more. I specifically encourage people to get barefoot shoes with a wide toe box. And these are really great for weightlifting because they help you stay balanced and stable while lifting heavy weights. You'll see that these shoes are very minimal in terms of the sole. So that way it is very flat, it's very flexible, and so much more. And this will help is help your feet move more naturally, which is important for exercises, especially like squats and deadlifts and so much more. They allow your toes to spread out comfortably versus being cramped up for like in a lot of shoes that we have nowadays, which gives you a more solid base for lifting. Barefoot shoes are also extremely lightweight and you can feel the ground better. So you can adjust your form easily. It's like mind-body connection improves a lot. So you'll naturally just start moving better because you are grounded to the floor. Plus, they help strengthen the muscles in your feet, which can prevent injuries. And here is a little bit of a caveat I want to add on to it. Okay? If you're somebody who has been wearing running shoes or extremely padded shoes, or you have a lot of arch supports, and then you want to transition to flat shoes, where now you're going to have to start relying on the muscles in your feet to start working. Realize those muscles in your feet are probably very weak to start with. So if you start feeling your feet get very fatigued or tight, it's just like any other sore muscle where you don't use a muscle for a very, very long time. And now you're trying to build up the strength. At first, it's going to be sore. So ease up into it. So if you're somebody that's working from ground zero, maybe you work out with that shoe for half the time and build up. Or maybe even just start going on a 5-minute walk before start lifting in the gym. Here's another thing to consider is that you don't necessarily need shoes at all. You can simply lift barefoot too. It is the same thing. You can do it in socks though. Maybe doing absolute barefoot in a gym where a lot of people are at may not go well. I don't think that other people would like it. And like the nasty stuff on the ground, I don't think you want that on your feet either, but that is also in consideration. I have worked out at gyms that have actually encouraged that, and I loved it because that showed me that they knew the importance of feet strength, making sure that we could have a good base, improving mobility, technique, and keeping us safe over a period of time. So that's an option as well. Okay, the next thing on the list is going to be chalk. Chalk is really great to put on your hands to help you maintain grips when you have sweaty hands like me. I have very sweaty hands. And it's very hard for me to be able to hold on to things like dumbbells or kettlebells or pull-up bars or barbells or anything like that, or any machines really that I've handled that I have to hold on to if my hands are constantly sweaty. So having chalk in your bag, if you're at a gym that does not provide chalk, may come in handy. You can do liquid chalk that comes in bottles where you just squeeze it out in your hand, you spread it apart, and then it dries on your hands like chalk. That comes in little bottles with a keychain. You can get bigger bottles too. There are some people that will get bags and get a block of chalk and keep it in there, and they'll just rub it on their hands and use it as they go. You can always keep that in your bag. I highly suggest that to a lot of people. The next on the list is going to be resistance bands and or hip bands. So resistance bands are awesome for beginners at the gym because they're just gentle on your body and extremely easy to use. They help you get stronger without risking injury as well. You can adjust them to make exercises harder as you get stronger. Plus, they're great for stretching and warming up your muscles before a workout. They're very versatile, so you can use them for lots of different exercises, and they're extremely affordable, especially if you're just starting out, and easy to carry around in your gym bag. But also, you know what? I think that they're a really great way to use for bodybuilding movements as well. You have no clue how many times I've bought like used resistance bands to do like curls or presses over the head or pull aparts or things like that too. So if you're into bodybuilding, but you're maybe at a functional gym, adding bands to your bag, if your gym does not have that, may be a really great way to get a little bit more versatile with the movements that you want to do with the limited amount of equipment that you have in comparison to working out at a commercial gym that has a lot of different machines. So that's another consideration as well. The next is going to be, and this isn't necessarily something that you can put in your gym bag, but I encourage everybody to have one if your gym does not have one, or if you're a beginner and you want to start practicing at home on certain things, you can have it at home and it's very cost effective. It's a PVC pipe. So you can legit just buy a PVC pipe for plumbing, but you can use it to help do a lot of different things. It can help, like I'll honestly say that it's most helpful for especially beginners because it helps them learn how to do exercises correctly without putting any type of heavy weights on them, which reduces risk of injury and allows people to build up confidence to learn new movements. So you'll see sometimes also, it's really great for demoing for videos. You'll see sometimes I'm coaching some clients and I'm doing a video and I'm like, this is what you're doing with like a boomstick. And I wish I had a PVC pipe at home. I have it at the gym and I use it when I'm coaching my clients in person. But when I'm doing it virtually, I use my broomstick and I'm like, this is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. It's a great laugh with my clients because you're like, I can't believe you're wearing, like you're holding a broomstick while you do this. But like, I get it because it allows me to demo what I want them to do without having a lot of weight around me. It also can be used for stretching and warming up your muscles before your workouts too. It's cheap and really easy to find. You can literally go to your local hardware store or you can go online and order one. It's really, really easy. The next is going to also be a lacrosse ball. So lacrosse ball, it's going to be a rubber ball. It's going to be about like yay big. If you're watching the video, it's going to be about yay big. This is really, really great for helping get into deep tissue massages, which helps loosen up tight muscles and makes you feel better after a workout. When you start working out, you are going to start getting tight muscles. You're also going to start seeing potential imbalances within your body that is being shown through lifting. It's not necessarily inherently causing it, but it's shining a light on something that already existed. And now we got to get to work. So a lacrosse ball is a really great way to help get into the deep muscles, massage those, loosen those things up to prevent injury and help you keep moving and moving well and feeling great. I get plantar fasciitis as I'm running more. My feet get a little bit more and more sore. So I actually use the lacrosse ball and I put it underneath my foot and I roll through the muscles in my feet to help loosen that up. And that really does the trick. You can also, pro tip, if you keep it at home, keep it in the freezer and then start rolling it out. It's a really great way to do that. So from there, those are like the big ones that I think that most people should have in their bag. Obviously, depending on your experience level, what modality that you're working with, it might change. But I think that's a general overview of what most people should be starting with within their bag. Now, the next couple ones are going to be something that's not necessarily like a necessity, but I would say as you progress in the gym, you can consider getting these next ones. Okay. And I'll give you a little bit more context as to why I say maybe not necessarily at the very beginning, but sooner or later, especially if you're stepping in the gym, you might want to consider these sometime in your journey. Okay. So the first one is going to be lifting straps. So lifting straps are straps that you put around your wrists that you can put around like barbells, dumbbells, things that you can handle, when your grip strength gives out, because your legs, your back, any hinging movements are going to be stronger than your grip strength. And we don't want our grip strength to limit our ability to lift heavier weights. But this is the reason why this is specifically the reason why with lifting straps, I say maybe beginners should start with not using lifting straps, but sooner or later build up to start using it. And the reason being is because your grip strength is still an extremely important thing that you need to train. You need to develop a stronger grip strength. Can you hold onto heavy weights for a long period of time? Can you carry things across the room with your hands? Can you hold on to something like a bar with your body weight? If the answer is no, then you might actually be better served by taking a step back and just focusing on lifting weights without the straps, so that way your grip strength can get stronger. Now, if you have already spent a significant amount of time building that grip strength, and now you're starting to see that your lifts are pushing the topper end and your grip strength is starting to get be your limiting factor, that's when I would say bringing lifting straps in. So again, it goes around the wrists, you wrap it around your bar and you hold onto it, or a dumbbell or a kettlebell or whatever, and you hold onto it. And it takes a lot of the pressure out of the grip, so that way you can push, let's say things like deadlifts or lunges or rows or things like that more, and get more out of the lifts. Okay. So lifting straps, there's different types of lifting straps. You don't really necessarily have to get super fancy with it. I have a pair that's from Amazon that was $15, but I know things like Versa Grips, that's a very popular one. That's going to be on the upper end of like 50 to 60. It is extremely well made. It is highly recommended. I know a lot of people that absolutely rave about it and love it, but you don't necessarily have to do that if you don't want to. I know there's other grips that are actually like they're actual literal hooks like made out of metal that will hook around things. So when you're looking at grips, it's all about personal preferences. And I highly suggest maybe doing some trial and error depending on what you want to do. But again, you don't have to get super fancy with it. My lifting straps literally are $15 and I absolutely love them. Again, show notes, all the links are going to be below so you can check that out and see what you like. So the next thing is going to be a lifting belt. Again, this is going to be another one where majority of people who are starting with lifting, like if I have a brand newbie person that's lifting with me, I'm not going to suggest a lifting belt as they start out. But as they progress and they start learning basic fundamental things, I may suggest inserting a lifting belt in their journey to help them lift heavier. And here is why. So the lifting belt is there for a few reasons. One of the biggest reasons is to increase what's called intra-abdominal pressure. When you're lifting a belt, it helps you take a deep breath and push out on that belt, creating pressure within your abdominals, within your midline or your core, whatever you want to call it. Just because you do that, by increasing that pressure, this stabilizes your spine and your core, providing a solid foundation for lifting heavier weights. It's core to extremity. The stronger that you're able to make your core, the stronger that your extremities are going to be. But if you got a weak and or loosey-goosey midline because you don't know how to properly engage your core, your extremities are going to reflect that as well and limit your ability to see results within the gym, build muscle, lift heavier weights, perform better, so on and so forth. But here's the thing, you do not need a lifting belt to learn how to do that. It just helps you like mentally do that because you have something physically to push out on. But you don't need that in order to have good core stability and create intra-abdominal pressure. So before I move on, I want to explain intra-abdominal pressure just a little bit more. This is one of my favorite analogies for it to really click for people, especially when you're a newbie. So think of a soda can that has like some type of liquid in it. It's got the pressure in it and hasn't been opened. You can step on that and that thing will not budge. Now, open that soda can and pour out the water. Now step on it. It's going to crumble underneath you. Okay. It's because of the pressure that was built. It makes the soda can extremely strong. But as soon as you take that pressure out, it becomes extremely weak. Therefore, when we apply it to lifting weights, if you have a lot of really great core stability, you know how to what's called properly brace, you're going to be able to get a lot more out of it versus somebody that doesn't know how to do it. So if you do not know how to properly brace, what I would encourage you to do is actually spend more time learning how to properly brace, learning how to create that pressure within your midline. A really great way to think of it. These are my top two analogies with people that really hits home. It just depends on the person, but these are my top two favorite ones. The first one is pretend that I'm about to punch you in the stomach, right? You wouldn't arch your back and stick your belly out. You also wouldn't crumble in like this because those are not going to be strong, right? What you're going to do is press out. You're going to get nice and tight and you're going to press, really initiate, oh, like this is where the most strength is. I wouldn't suck in. I wouldn't arch. I wouldn't crumble. I would press out and just really get strong right there. That's one way to think about it. Another way to think about it is I'm going to be on the video. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, you can see this too. I'm going to try to bring my table down. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a little here. Okay, there we go. That's a good thing. So what I want you to do is pinch your side like this. Bring this up here. Pinch your side like this, and then press out right here. You can feel that. Pinch it and then press out on it. That's going to be the very similar stimulus that you're going to get when you have a belt around your midline because you're pressing out on that. That is going to create a little bit of a look of like what we call quote unquote lifting belly. That is okay. We want that. That just shows us that you are actually properly bracing your core. Now, again, I want somebody to learn how to do that without a belt. Then once they learn how to do that, then that's when we add the belt in. That's going to give you a much higher ceiling of potential versus not knowing how to brace and thinking that a lifting belt is going to magically solve things. It doesn't. It doesn't make it easier, yes, but it doesn't magically make you stronger, okay? So a lifting belt is another really great thing to add in there. There's different types of lifting belts that you can get. One, you can get a Velcro one. This is one that I've used for freaking years. I love Velcro because it's in and out. It's really simple. You can just Velcro it up and unVelcro it. Some pros to it is like it's in and out really fast. It can be very stable. Some cons to it is that the Velcro can potentially wear out over a period of time. So just depending on what kind of a brand and the quality of brand, I've had a really poor quality one that was like $20 that only lasted me a couple months versus I had a really high quality one that was about $50 to $60 that lasted me for a couple years. So it just depends on the quality of the brand. But really, really great stuff. You can find some really great ones on Amazon. I'm also a fan of a brand called Hevico. They used to be called Strong Supply. Use them forever. Absolutely love those guys behind the business. And also Meg Squats. She's got a really great account. If you haven't followed that, fantastic account there. But they're just really great quality of equipment there. So go ahead and check that out. Also, Two Poot is another one. And the next one, a next type of lifting belt that you can potentially do is like a leather belt. I personally wear a leather belt now. So leather belt is really great. They're very, very fancy too. I feel fancy when I'm wearing a leather belt. And so it's got like more of a buckle type of leather belt. I personally use Onyx straps. So Onyx straps is a really great business out of California. I know the guy that makes the leather belts. Him and his partner are fantastic people. Absolutely great. And I got a really fancy one that's on the closer end. I think closer to $300. It's white. It's pretty. I got a little spendy. And of course, I was supporting my friends. So I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed with it. But for the longest time, I hated leather belts. I stuck with Velcro belts. So I think it's all about personal preference and what you like. I always encourage people to do trial and error and try things out. The other one that you can do is a lever, Lever, lever belt. So you'll see these are going to be also leather more than likely, but they have this huge lever with a V. So it's very similar words. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly so you guys understand. A lever out in the front that really just tightens it. You just press it over and then it tightens the belt and then you can simply untighten it through just pushing the lever back. You see these a lot in sports like powerlifting. They're very popular there, but honestly, if it's something that you like, anybody can use them. So and that's another option from there as well. Again, belts are personal preference. I personally don't believe there's one better than the other. I think that there's certain sports that that lifting sports that use belts. There's certain belts that is better, more than likely better for powerlifting versus leather and or Velcro is better for weightlifting and or CrossFit. But it's honestly personal preference, especially if you're just there for general health and getting stronger. Try it, figure out what you like, and go with it. I don't think you can lose from there. Okay. Then the last thing is going to be, and this is going to be a little bit, I know this is going to be a little bit of a controversial topic. And I'm going to explain why I would suggest some people do this. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I do encourage a lot of people do this. And the last one's going to be getting some type of tripod or something to hold up your phone so that way you can record. Now, a lot of times people are like, oh, recording in the gym is so bad. It's so vain. It's so distracting, blah, blah, blah. I understand your side of things and I get it. And I think that there's a lot of people that are extremely distracting. And when they film, they are extremely disrespectful, which can really ruin it for the other people that are using it for other things. I film my lifts in the gym to film content because that is part of my job. And I love sharing videos because now I can teach other people how to move well in the gym all over the world. It's one of the really great ways to do that. But I always try to be respectful. I try not to film other people. And I also try not to do it during busy times. And I don't do it in front of other people and get in their way of doing their thing. I always ask that. And if somebody has to walk in front, I always tell them, honestly, it does not bother me if you walk in front. I can always edit this. I'm like, you tell me if I'm in your way. You are allowing me to film right now, not the other way around. So thank you very much. And if I'm bothering you, just let me know. And I have no problem putting it away. It's really not that big of a deal. I always try to show respect in that way. But there's other purposes to filming your lifts beyond just building content or doing social media or vanity purposes. Okay. The big reason why I love it when people film their lifts is because it creates such independence and autonomy with building technique and improving over a period of time. Because if you're working with a personal trainer, whether it's in person or virtual, or you have a coach, whether it's in person or virtual, you're subject to what they can see. Okay. You always have to wait for them to catch things. Versus if you learn how to film your own lifts, not only are you sending it to a coach to review and help you get better, but you yourself can look at those lifts and make adjustments lift by lift rather than waiting for your coach day by day or week by week or month by month, depending on how often you talk to your coach. So it allows you to progress a lot faster. And eventually you're going to be able to do this kind of stuff on your own. You're going to be able to self-assess and make adjustments, which will help you improve faster, which will help you stay safer, improve your technique, and prevent injury. So that's one of the reasons why I really encourage, is super compact. It fits in my gym bag. I can build it up and tear it back down within seconds. It's very pretty too, and it's very durable. It lasts a long time versus some of them are just very clunky. You know, the classic black ones with all the little clips and everything like that on it. I don't like those. I got a really good one there. But I've seen on TikTok, the Tickety Talk, I call it, that there's this new water bottle on Amazon that has for iPhones with the ring on here, like the magnetic ring. It has a magnetic ring on the top that flips up. So on your water bottle, you can simply put it on there and it doesn't stand out or anything like that. You can set it up and you can film your lifts really fast and then flip it back down and start drinking out of it again. It's a little bit more on the pricier side. I'm trying to find something that's a little bit more affordable, but I think that's a fantastic option. It's incognito. It doesn't really stand out. And it's very easy to build up and put down. And you can literally just put that phone on your water bottle for a couple seconds to film one set, turn it off, look at the film. And it's really, really a great option right there. You don't necessarily need a tripod or that water bottle for years. I literally just put it up against a water bottle, literally set it on the floor up against a water bottle or on a bench and just leaned it up against a water bottle, or just simply stuck it in the middle of my phone so it stood up straight and filmed it. I did that for years when I was a weightlifter, and I had to send all my videos to my coach for review for technique. It worked just great. But if you're looking for maybe a tripod or that water bottle, that is a really great option as well. Again, I'll link those below. So again, you don't have to do it. But if you're somebody that is either working with somebody virtually, okay, or you're somebody that really wants to create more independence in the gym and help yourself learn about improving your technique over a period of time and so much more, tripod is a really great option. To each their own. Okay. Besides that, again, I could go even deeper into some of these things. There's so many different options that you can get at the gym. We can go even farther, but these are some really great basics for a lot of my beginners should start with. I think the biggest one is going to be just get a good pair of shoes. I think that's my biggest recommendation is just get a good pair of shoes. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is just like, they're just not wearing the right types of shoes for the workout. So it makes it significantly harder for them to like get great technique and feel confident in the gym. So get really, really great pair of shoes, or simply just don't wear a pair of shoes in the gym unless you're like running outside, then that wouldn't feel too good. Don't do that. But besides that, if you have any questions beyond what I talked about in this video, or if you have any other recommendations too, that's what we're here for, the community. Recommend some things that you also really love, maybe different brands than I said, or maybe like different gear that maybe I forgot or something like that. Add it in the comments below. Feel free to share. That's what we're here for. Let's build each other up. But I hope this helps anybody that is going into the gym. I want to say I'm proud of you. I'm going to say also welcome to the strength side of things. You know, welcome to the dark side. It's like welcome to the strength side. And it's going to be so much fun, especially if you do it right and you surround yourself with the right type of people. As a beginner, I will always say that everybody starts where you're at. Everybody doesn't know what they're doing, where you're at. You've got to be willing to suck at something before you get really great at something. Also, comparison is the thief of joy. Please don't compare yourself to somebody that's been in the gym for 5 years. That's just not fun and it's not realistic. Stay within yourself, focus on you, like put the blinders on and just focus on moving the needle forward little by little, and that stuff will add up. And finally, as a newbie, if you allow yourself, fitness can bring an amazing community. And when you get yourself in an amazing community, it can completely change your life. It's what completely changed my life. So I'm very excited for your journey. I'm very excited to see how it goes. And if you ever want to reach out to me for any questions or show me some videos or maybe a PR, some wins or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me again. Show notes are below. I love seeing that. Like seriously, my face gets so happy when my clients send me videos like I PR'd or things like that too. So feel free to do that. Or if you're struggling, I'm more than happy to help because I really do believe that we need to get more weights in people's hands. It's one really great way to help us both mentally and physically become the best versions of ourselves and become a CEO for our health. All right, then. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. We got another one coming out with Coach Toby next. So stay tuned. It's going to be a really great one. As always, I appreciate your guys' time and attention. Please feel free to share this with anybody that might need this in their life. Share the good word. Other than that, have a great day. Love you guys. Keep doing the damn thing. Talk to you guys later.